It's not 100 degrees yet,
That's right.
right? We'll give it a couple days. Yeah,
Okay, we're talking about cabbage. Can you juice cabbage?
you can do all kinds of fun stuff with cabbage.
Okay, I
You
need
know,
some
it's-
juicing recipes, guys.
Oh, well, yeah, there's all kinds of fun things out there. So, yeah, and today, yes, out of our food for the stomach, we're going to be talking a little bit about cabbage. Last time I felt like we were. Is not your favorite? Is
Well, as of a couple of years ago, when Erwin says eat your cabbage, I
Yeah.
started adding a little bit every day, which I didn't really like.
Okay.
Now I kind of miss it if it's not there.
all right.
A friend of mine would like to know what gas
Juice.
produced from it.
Yes. So a great question over here.
Question.
Margot, great question over here on gas production and cabbage. And so when we're talking about our microbiome, okay, what's going to happen when Linda's adding more cabbage?
We're going to adjust eventually, and we're going to be okay.
Okay, so we're going to adjust. Same thing's going to happen with beans, broccoli.
Well, with beans, you can add baking soda.
You can-
Something
Yeah,
do
you can,
with cabbage.
yeah, so it's kind of the whole idea. Let's allow our body to naturally respond to the positive changes that we're making. You know, in adding more fruits and vegetables and whole grains. A couple of weeks ago, as we were going through the interaction of dietary compound study from 2015, I felt like we were just really almost. I was feeling like we were trudging through some of the biochemistry. Good morning. Got some handouts on the back table there. Help yourself. And I'm just going. You know, I am adamantly opposed to trudging. You know, it's kind of like we can't trudge through life. You know, when we trudge, our smiling muscles quit working. We've got to find that balance. So today I'm going to throw in a few little other directions that I hope you folks find to be as interesting as I have. So yeah, so we've got 4 handouts on the back table there, and we're going to be keeping up with the news. We're going to be talking about the role of prebiotics as part of the interaction of dietary compound study, and I had a question earlier. Yes, my goal would be I'm going to have copies of the entire study available. So for those that are here some weeks, maybe miss a week here or there.
That's nice.
So yeah, bear with me. My printer was really smoking this morning, you know, and I was going just didn't want it to pop a gasket. So we're gonna make those available for you. Because I would just love everybody to have that study, even though there's just so much you're going to look at and go, oh my word, you know, I just don't really get what they're talking about. It's just important to be able to look at the conclusion, you know, look at the abstract, be able to kind of dissect some of the biochemistry there and microbiology that's there, and be able to make sense out of it in your own life. And so, as always, before we get the class kicked off, I will tell you, you know, you do a search and you're looking at, you know, what does the Bible say about diet? What does the Bible say about our minds? And you know, in the news and the handouts that you have, the inflammatory diet on brain aging, dementia, you know, all these things. And so I thought, you know, let's look at what Scripture actually says about the mind. And in Ecclesiastes 11:9 and 10, it says, "Rejoice, young man, while you are young, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Follow the impulses of your heart and desires of your eyes, but know that God will judge your motives and actions. Banish emotional stress from your mind, and put away pain from your body, for youth and the prime of life are fleeting." And, you know, it was interesting because that New English translation this was the title of this section. The title was "Enjoy Life to the Fullest Under the Fear of God." And I thought, you know, wow, talk about the importance of banishing emotional stress. You know, the importance of ensuring that, you know, we're not looking like this guy. You know, we're not holding our head going, okay, we've got family issues, we've got all these different worries, we've got, you know, and it's so easy to get caught up in all of those negative things that our smiling muscles quit working. And I think we've talked about that, even how it affects our digestive process. It affects every aspect of our life in a negative way. And so when we look at Scripture and it says, you know, banish emotional stress from your mind, I'm going, you know, that's some pretty sound advice. Especially when we're trying to enjoy life to the fullest. And it's just kind of that you know, that balance that we've got to have, and to be able to incorporate into our everyday life. So let's begin with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful Sabbath morning, and thank you for everyone that's here today. We ask for your presence to be in this place as we talk about our health and ways that we can improve our health by following the health guides that you have given us. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, how was everybody's week?
Good.
It's good. It was a busy week. Busy week. Kind of getting a little spoiled, you know, air conditioning. You know, it's kind of nice to be in an office where the air conditioners.
Glad you have an outside job. Aren't you glad you went to college now?
Can you imagine? I'm just going, man, can you imagine being a roofer?
No.
How about those guys laying that hot black asphalt out there on the highway?
Laying asphalt. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine? How much water do you think they're going to need to be drinking every day?
About 3 gallons.
It's like, wow, just is mind-blowing. You know, we were talking earlier, you know, about the necessity of hydration, and, you know, the rule of thumb, half your body weight in ounces on a daily basis. Well, when I'm golfing 102 or whatever it was yesterday afternoon, and you know, I'm going through, I drank 4 24-ounce bottles, and then I drank another 20 ounces on the drive home. And you're just kind of going, you know, even then I felt pretty dehydrated. I got home and I'm drinking more water, you know, feeling like you need to get caught up. But it's really important. Number one cause of dizziness, dehydration. It's real easy to get dehydrated. So we've just gotta stay on top of that. Anybody have a testimony they want to share from this last week or last couple of weeks? Anything exciting from the nutritional side of life? Yes.
I mean, I'm still I started at 214, 216. I'm at 182 right now.
All right.
And it's kind of real gradual. I hit little plateaus, and it's not really about weight, but I'm shifting. I mean, I still have this fat that I developed from drinking a lot of beer, and I think it's going through a shift where I'm going to lose weight, but I'm going to gain. It's going to take a while to get all that fat gone. So I mean, I'm not looking at the weight side of things, but I do believe I'm going to drop into the 170s, and then I'm going to pop back up a little bit.
Sure.
You know, so
Very
I don't know. That just seems like makes sense. But yeah, it's still going.
Way awesome.
Yeah.
So staying on track.
Staying on track. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. I haven't relapsed on meat or anything like that.
All right. So you've been sober how long?
I mean, I don't know if it's sober, but I just haven't I've been drinking for about 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
7, 8 weeks, something like that. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats. Keep it going.
Okay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Be careful. Like I said, you're going to get healthy on us.
Yeah. I hope so.
I can't get the thought out of my mind. I read it, and it was one of the poets that said, I requested of God that I have longevity in life, but I forgot to request that it be years of youth.
Years of youth. That's great. That's great. You know, I golf with a gentleman who's 83. And, you know, you have to look at him and he, you know, we have our gloves on carts. I quit carrying my bag years ago. But, you know, it's so interesting to actually see him jogging. You know, we're out there, we'll be out there Sunday morning and you know, here he is. Every once in a while he just takes off and starts jogging after his golf ball. Good morning. And you know, so here's this gentleman in his 80s, and I look at my other golfing buddies, and I'm going, you know, that's when I'm 83, I want to be able to do that. And I got to tell you, his mind is not 83. You know, and I think that's kind of where, yeah, whatever the number is, fine. But you know, we're all, we can feel younger, and lifestyle plays such an incredible role there. It's a big deal. So breaking news, you know, it's kind of interesting this week. In fact, Margaret brought this to my attention. She goes, here, you know, you need to do this. I don't know if any of you have problems with passwords like I do.
No.
You know, I've got passwords for this and that and the other, and I'm just going, oh my goodness. And the medical site that these articles came from, I had a password, and I'm just for the life of me going. I told Margot, I said, I cannot remember this password. And she made a comment. She goes, well, maybe it's this one, and once you know, it was. And I was so excited because there's just some really important stuff happening. You know, and we're not talking about, you know, 20 years ago. We're talking about July 17, 2017. I think that was the first one, the inflammatory diet pattern linked to brain aging. And this was a conference that was taking place, I believe, in London. And it was just kind of, and I gave you kind of the gist of it. And I apologize, it looks like the tops kind of got popped off a little bit there. I think you can make out what it's saying. In the interest of trying to make it so I wasn't giving you stapled multiple pages. But when we talk about inflammatory diet in this class, I think everybody kind of goes, yeah, I know what we're talking about. And our goal is to decrease inflammation, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what are some strategies? What are some of the ways that we can decrease inflammation? Any thoughts there?
Decrease your stress level.
Decrease stress. Okay. So that'll knock down you know, inflammatory markers. What are some dietary?
Decrease animal products.
Decrease animal products.
Processed foods.
Processed foods. What's that?
Abolish animal products.
Abolish. Okay. Ooh, that's a tough. Yes, Doc.
More cabbage.
More Linda, did you hear that?
What about bad sugars?
Yes.
You have to be careful about abolishing your animal products because there are some people that have lived their whole life on animal products.
Yes.
And so to just all of a sudden give them up, it's very stressful and
Yes.
can throw things in the wrong direction.
Yes, absolutely. There are some handouts on the back table. Help yourself and come on in, grab a chair. So, correct, and I'm going to come back and visit that just a little bit more. Yes.
I've been shopping for cabbage. I'm a little confused. I haven't found purple cabbage per se, but red cabbage. Are they the same thing? Are they? They're a little different. I've seen.
There's going to be a lot of similarities, and the section on cabbage, they actually go into some of the different types.
Yeah, the produce guy told me that they're the same thing, and I've looked it up, and it seems to me that there are two different cabbages.
Yeah, so you're
I can't find the purple cabbage.
You're going to look at the phytonutrients that are present in one and not going to be present in the other. But I will tell you, it's like outlined here. There's going to be a lot of similarities.
Where am I going to find purple cabbage? That's what I'm having a hard
And so purple cabbage.
Purple
Well,
cabbage is in
I
the
think
store.
I'm getting purple at Rayleigh's, but
It's red.
it,
Is it red?
Yeah.
I think that's probably close enough, but maybe
Looks
I'm
purple.
wrong.
Yeah,
You guys
because-
are on your own.
because I'm going there, that purple cabbage that Marla brings home, I gotta tell you, it's awesome stuff. And I've gotta get back into it here, even a little more, yes.
Just remembering the darker, the more color, the more nutrients.
The more
And so,
nutrients.
I mean, it's on a scale,
Yep.
what are the alternatives? Buy
Yeah.
purple, buy red, buy what you can get.
See,
Yeah.
It is really pretty though.
now if I would've had my ducks in a row, I would've wore my cabbage colored shirt today. But, my purple cabbage shirt, yes, Doc,
I think like any foods, you have to find what works for you.
there you go.
Boys won't eat the boiled cabbage as a big leaf. But
Mhm.
if you shred it like angel hair really thin, they'll put it on a sandwich.
Right, absolutely.
The creativity we can find that are palatable.
hmm So the really nice thing, you all have this handout on cabbage,
Yes, we do.
and you've got a fun list here, and I really like the nutritional content that you're gonna find there. And then, as we have discussed multiple times, just really when you're getting some of that beautiful purple cabbage, and you're sitting there, I'll be standing there, I go into our little break room oftentimes, so I'm not looking at my computer, and I'm sitting there chewing on some cabbage or celery or carrot sticks, along with typically a veggie-burger or something that that Margo's put together for me at lunch. And my coworkers come in and they go, "What are you eating?" But I gotta tell you that purple cabbage or red cabbage is so flavorful, and I'm just going, wow, it's incredible. Yes.
Well, and not to forget, cauliflower is considered the white green vegetable.
Mhm.
It's right up there with the rest of them.
There you go. Absolutely. So we're talking about just a nutrition source that can just give our bodies the fuel that our body needs. And I think everybody gets excited about how can we go to Rayleigh's, and how can we go to Winco, and how can we improve our cognitive function. How can we improve blood sugars, blood pressures, all of these things, and it's the term that we've been using in this class with the study review was nutraceuticals. Nutraceuticals are foods that are medicine, and it's pretty amazing when you actually start thinking about that. Wow. So the red cabbage that we're buying at Rayleigh's is a medicine. We don't have to go to the pharmacy. We don't need a prescription for it, and it's readily available. And look at everything that it's actually giving. Potassium, 246 milligram. Going protein, 1.4 grams. Fiber. And we've talked about how important fiber is, and especially for those in this class that deal with diabetes or pre-diabetes. Just understanding how important it is. We've got to have that fiber. For folks that struggle with regularity, it's so important. We've absolutely got to have foods with fiber, so that we can keep things moving. We've got to stay hydrated. We've got to stay active. Then all of a sudden we're sitting here looking at all the different mechanisms in place to keep our GI tract moving, to prevent constipation, and we're feeling better. Our smiling muscles are working better. So that means then we don't need a bunch of antidepressants, right? Okay, because we're naturally tapping into the natural antidepressants. So pretty fascinating stuff. And since we really have a love of cabbage in this class, we'll keep going here. So basically, yeah, I mean, you look at calcium, you look at the various vitamins that are present, you know, and there's a term here, cruciferous, and I'm looking for, I know I ran across it. Yeah, so when we talk about cruciferous vegetables, cabbage is one of them. Okay, what are some other ones?
Brussels sprouts,
Brussels sprouts,
broccoli,
broccoli,
cauliflower,
cauliflower. Okay,
green cabbage, red cabbage.
all the different, and so the next handout I might even bring and continue the cabbage theme, but it actually goes into all these different you know, types of cabbage here. And it does on the page 194, comparison of the composition of cabbages. And it kind of gives you a rundown there. And you know, I thought it was kind of interesting when we look at the properties and indications. You know, we talk about protein. Well, and again, you know, in our society, protein craze, they really don't talk that much about vegetables, right? They're usually talking about a meat or dairy source, okay? And back to the comment earlier of, you know, if you eat meat, kind of making that lifestyle transition more slowly, more gradual, you know, would be highly recommended for the average person. And I think there's a very important theme here, and that is to understand if we want to create an environment that is more alkaline, less prone to a variety of other health issues, we automatically start moving away from meat and dairy. Okay, and having worked with you know, hundreds of individuals over the years, I had one individual going to school, getting their master's degree, I forget in what area, but you know, highly intelligent individual, and they heard one lecture on the cons of meat and dairy. They went completely off. Well, I saw this individual about 3 to 4 months later come in, and she wasn't looking healthy. She looked very gaunt. She was lacking any color. Just very, you know, my initial, you know, 10-second view was, I have somebody that's, something's not right here. And as I was doing the intake, it was determined that, yeah, there had been a complete removal from her diet, things that she was used to, that included meat and dairy, and did not have the understanding or the knowledge to actually replace those, and had not gotten the right help. And so she was becoming very malnutritioned. And I was just like, okay, let's start out with balance. And I know in this class I've even given examples where I would have an individual that eats pork chops at every meal, and I'm going, you know, I cannot even imagine. But someone that's their lifestyle, that's how they were raised, that's what they've been doing. Well, is that a helpful option? And most folks would go, no, probably not. And so when we're able to get an individual to start tapering down on the pork chops, replacing it with a healthier you know, food source, and build a program that's meaningful and sustainable, now we've got something that is going to be worth its weight there. Yes?
It's learning how to, like you said, replace what you're used to eating with something healthier. I was born in a lacto-vegetarian family.
Okay.
Meat was introduced when my mom remarried. Now it's to the place where I don't eat a lot of red meat. In fact, I kind of eliminated it, so mine is fish and chicken. But it's a slow process, and it's like, what do you find to replace things that are that
Right, right. And yeah, you cultivated, that's something you're used to. Like myself, I was raised on vegetarian hot dogs that come in a can.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Linkettes. Okay, yep, Blehm and Worthington. Well, and I'm still addicted to Big Frank's.
Well,
I'll admit.
years ago, that was inexpensive to buy. And then it
Not
reversed,
anymore.
and meat was cheaper to buy than vegetarian
Mhm.
food. So you're in a bind. I've traded my red meat for Ready Burger burgers.
Okay.
And
So,
some of my chicken, I use the tender bits, but I still like to have a chicken thigh every now and then.
we have medicine for that.
I'm not
That's
into
all right,
taking a lot of
and-
medicines,
and
but I still
that's-
like my boiled eggs and my
Right.
scrambled eggs and my cheese.
The take home, I think every individual here is going to have a taste preference,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How many of you love red cabbage?
I've never
Okay.
had red cabbage. I've only had the green stuff.
Now, here's a really tough one. How many of you love Brussels sprouts?
Oh, they're my favorite.
Whoa. Yeah, I was going to say, Margie, baby, 2 hands up.
But it's how you cook them. To just boil Brussels sprouts till they're tender are not good because they're
Yeah.
bitter unless you
See,
Soak them
I've
in
never
salt
been a
water.
Brussels sprouts guy. I mean, but
fry them with garlic
Oh,
or
well.
roast them with garlic.
that might be one way to get them down. But yeah, I've never seen somebody able to eat Brussels sprouts. Margot can 2-hand Brussels sprouts. I mean, and I'm just going, oh my word. But and so we all have different taste preference. And my taste preference is definitely I love the canned vegetarian hot dogs. So much so that I would leave them in the can and I put them in a backpack. When I'm going backpacking, going, I don't care. Bring it on. I will take the extra weight just so I can have my hot dogs when we get to the camp.
And
Yes.
those are junk food too, I mean, they're
Yes,
processed.
they are.
But there's stuff, if you could just find some recipes of like, using beans and different things, you could start finding stuff that you like. And you can modify it a little bit and make it really savory and yummy for burgers or loaf or.
Now, don't get me all depressed, telling me my Big Franks are junk food, so. But no, that's literally, and that's exactly what we're talking about. There are much more helpful options out there. And so I'm going to be cultivating my taste preference to move away from the veggie dogs. Yes.
I've been practicing, getting better at it. I make this lasagna. It's this kind of spinach and sweet potato lasagna. But when I'm done and I inside, it really has the texture of beef. It's strange because the tofu and stuff, and it's really great. It's got a lot of, but there's some good recipes, and man, I'm fooled every time. I go, wow, this, I know there's no meat in there, but there's that feeling.
Yeah,
I think we should start a recipe club and people bring in their favorite recipes maybe and
Not bad
then we kind
idea.
of share.
So that'd be kind of fun.
That's
That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
Get some ideas too.
Would anybody be interested in that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So starting next week, maybe
So you
everybody
kind of-
bring something and maybe, we could copy them off and.
So we're going to encourage these recipes to be plant-based.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's kind of the fun part when we have the creativity factor at work here in the back.
I have a question on page 195. It talks about the cabbage and thyroid. So I have thyroid problems, so help me to understand what this is saying. If you cook it properly, then it shouldn't affect your thyroid. Is that correct?
So basically, we're talking about the phytonutrients, the phytochemicals that are present in cabbage, and as I was reading this, this substance is only produced by the action of an enzyme released when raw cabbage is mashed or chewed. Cooked cabbage does not have this effect.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's okay. It'll be okay.
right, and basically, again, it's just like our study of the microbiome, the collective total of the microorganisms in our GI tract are significantly impacted when we start omitting, you know, and so somebody on thyroid medicine, they go, okay, well, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. You know, before long, we're going to have study evidence, just like we do with celiac disease and, you know, folks that are avoiding gluten. It is found that folks avoiding gluten can have that dysbiosis. They can actually create, you know, more pathogens, you know, in their GI tract than good bacteria. And so that ratio becomes skewed. And so I just encourage, yeah, we go into this with an awareness that, yeah, the cabbage can have an impact on the thyroid, secondary to its effect on how the thyroid absorbs iodine. Okay? And so it's really important. You go back to page 194, you know, we're talking about all these positives. You know, it used to be thought, the history of cabbage, it was thought to be a food for the poor. Well, you know, it's like, you know, I'm northern Minnesota, you know, a lot of the foods are potato based. You know, again, folks didn't have a lot of money. They were going to use the potato in any way, shape, or form. And it's amazing how many different foods that culture created out of potato. Well, folks have done the same thing with cabbage. There's just so many different things. Yeah.
Where my parents are from in Oklahoma, they grow soybeans, and all the farmer ladies got together and they did a cookbook on just soybeans.
Okay.
And let me tell you, they put the hippies to shame.
No.
Yeah, it's incredible what they can do. Yeah.
It is. I mean, the creativity of you know, so many, you know, cultures and subcultures. You know, I'm always going to love lefse. You know, how many of you know what lefse is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Margot, yeah, raises her hand. Lefse is actually a